Hey everybody. So today we're going to talk a little bit about lead routers. Now, lead routers sounds that terminology sounds a little bit intimidating. It can sound a little bit intimidating, but it's a piece of cake. And so let me talk to you a little bit about what lead routers are, and then I can show you how we can set them up inside of an Ontraport campaign. So basically, when you're in a situation where you've got salespeople that are going to be selling your services or connecting with clients, or really you just want to be able to assign a different point of contact really to people that are coming in, you can do that with a lead router. And so let's talk about what that actually looks like. So to set one up, you're going to go to contacts and you go down to settings, and it'll be right here, lead routing. And all you're going to do is just click on new lead router, okay? And there's a couple different ways to do it. The most common way to do it is really a round robin, where you're just saying, I've got 4 people in this lead router or 2 people in this lead router, whatever the case may be. I've got 20 people in this lead router, and I just want to make sure that I am doling them out to people at the same rate, right? So if I've got 10 different people in my lead router and I've got 10 leads, everybody gets 1. And then once everybody gets 1, we start at the beginning and we go back through again, right? That's a basic round robin lead router. If we're going to do a weighted random lead router, that's something we can do as well. At that point in time, basically what we're saying is we want 70% of all the leads, or a certain percentage of all the leads, to go to one person in particular, and we want the rest to be, doled out at different percentages, and you can change those percentages per person. So really useful functionality. What I've found is, just in my experience, round robins tend to be the way that it works more commonly than not. So I'm going to focus on the round robin. So what you'll do is you'll just go in and click on create a lead router. And so we'll title this, sample lead router, right? And then what we'll do is you'll literally just go in and select who's going to be involved in the round robin lead routing. Okay. Now the only real key here is that you're going to need, you can only set up leads to users. So in other words, if you're in a situation where you have a variety of people who are being assigned things, but they're not necessarily users in the system, this is something that you're not going to be able to do with lead routing. So key thing with lead routing is they actually do need to be users, actual legitimate Ontraport users, to assign the lead coming into that particular user. The reason is this: when you're assigning a lead to the user, you're actually changing the owner of that contact record to that user. So for instance, if I've got 3 users, let's just go with user A, user B, and user C, the system will originally be the owner of that user, but as soon as I assign it to user A actually becomes the owner of that particular record. And so it'll let you do things like, when you send emails out, you're actually sending it from the correct salesperson, rather than just from the system or the default contact that was set up. So that's really powerful. It's really powerful for automation, but it does mean that you actually need to have that person set up as a user inside of Ontraport, right? So once you're in that space, all you need to do is just go here and select your users. Right now, I've just got the one user. This is a test account that I run, so I only have this set up for myself. But if I have 20 users in here or 3 users in here, I can click that and they'll all be right there. Just by clicking add, you'll get a listing of everybody that's actually a user in the account. Again, I'm just going to click myself, but I could add several people if I wanted to, and then just go ahead and click save, right? And so here's my lead router. This is a round robin lead router, and here we go. Like I said, it's a test account, so you see no leads have actually been routed. And then what you do with that lead router is you go into campaigns, and you can click on new campaign. So let's just go ahead and set up a new campaign. Here we go. And we will title our campaign sample campaign for lead routing example. And then this is just, it literally, your lead routing just becomes a component directly inside of Ontraport. All right, so it's just an element that we can add. So now it just becomes basic campaign development. So if the idea is as soon as somebody comes into this campaign, maybe it's a campaign that's being added to automatically by another campaign, and that's when we're going to be routing, no problem. We just go into, let's just type in lead, add contact to lead router, and now I just go find the lead router that we created. Here's the sample lead router that we had done, and now when I go ahead and I publish this, anybody coming into this campaign would automatically be added to this lead router. All right, so just for kicks, let's go ahead and just add a few other things here. Maybe we can have we'll send an email out. Just pick an email to send. There you go, that's fine. And yeah, let's just say that this is going to be the end of our campaign. And actually, let's make this a little bit more legit, because most likely if we're running a lead router, most likely it's coming in off of a form that we've got set up someplace. So let's say that this is actually going to be set up off of a form. So form is compact submits form. What's that form? Let's just find a random form that we've got out here. Let's see here. Great. So let's say, yeah, this top one's fine actually. How can I help? So this is the how can I help form. If we click on this, let's just see what this looks like. Great. So let's say that, how can I help? Let's say that I've got several different salespeople underneath me. I don't necessarily in this particular instance, but let's say that I do. And basically I want to make sure that I'm making sure that everybody gets leads appropriately. I'll just say, cool, anybody who submits this form, I'm going to push through a lead router, right? So that's that. So now it might actually look more like this. And just for kicks, I can do this. Great. So at this point in time, just to zoom out real fast. Great. So at this point in time, what would be happening here is if somebody goes ahead and they fill out this form, they would immediately be added to the lead router. And then whoever was the contact on that lead router would send them an email. And if this email is set to come from the contact owner, which it most likely is, then it's going to come from the proper person. And that's if they submit this form. Now, again, if I just add them to the campaign, what this now does is it says, great, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to immediately put it into the lead router and again send that same email out. So this is how you can really effectively manage routing your leads to the appropriate salesperson inside of your organization. If you have any questions on any of this, by all means, hit me in the comments below, or go ahead and connect with me in any other ways that you can, and I'll look forward to helping you however I can. Have a great day. Take care.